Wait. Oh, it's not started yet. I'm gonna press start.
Are we from Britain?
3,
Yes.
2, 1. You went.
Yeah.
Welcome to Messy but Thriving Podcast. Today we're gonna start off with a quote from Kyra.
Cue the background music now. Cue the lights now. Zoom in now.
Begin.
Slow down.
Holy shit! Slow down.
We're going And that's our quote for today, ladies. Remember.
And cue the music now again. Slow down. You have time. You have time. You have time to learn the practice of forgiving yourself.
Oh.
And black screen.
That's the whole podcast.
And we're back.
Okay. Thank you, Kyra, for that intro.
You're welcome.
So today's topic is finding yourself as an adult.
Me like not knowing the topic. I'm like,
Well,
what is it?
Wait, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, finding yourself as an adult.
Self-discovery.
Oh yeah, self-discovery as an adult.
This is
As an adult. To clarify,
Was
we're
it?
adults.
I think so.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so take it away, Queen.
Oh.
Or
Hey,
whoever.
guys, I'm so glad. If we were in school together like this, and we're doing a project.
I think our projects would eat.
Okay, anyway, yeah, I think so too. How have you found yourself as an adult? How has it
Yeah.
changed? Like, what do you have processes?
Tell
do you
us.
have?
Processes?
Or like, have you felt any shifts or change?
Or have you found yourself?
I don't, honestly, I don't think that I have. Outside of, like, others' opinions or perception of myself, I think. I don't know, I feel like I've always felt like I was different. And I feel like a lot of people say that, but I feel like in high school, I was really, like, quirky, and, like, I called myself, like, clunky. And I think that I had a very strong, like, out there, like, personality to kind of, like, compensate for the fact that I knew I was different from other people. And so I, like, made it, like, extra. I mean, I was being myself, but I, like, showcased it more. Maybe as, like, a coping mechanism to, like, I didn't want other people to point out that I was different, you know?
Were you masking? Or just overly embracing?
Yeah, I think overly embracing. Like, people called me grandma, and I, like, wore, like, bright colors, and, like, I was super just, like, eclectic, I guess. And, like, I do feel like I was being myself, but I feel like I was, like, overcompensating for, like, feeling like I was different. And then, like, post high school, a lot of my friends that I have now are still, like, from high school, and they would say that, like, oh, you've, like, calmed down. So I don't know if
Calm down in a sense of, like, your style or personality?
like personality.
That sounds like a really luxury store.
I know. Personality.
That's our merch.
Yeah. But yeah, my personality and, like, my energy, I guess. Like, I'm not as, like, crazy, I guess. Like, I'm a lot quieter. Yeah.
I'm the same way, I feel like. I
Yeah.
think everyone calmed down from high school. I do not have the same energy
Yeah.
when I was 16. Like,
Yeah, I was crazy.
I'm dead. I'm always tired. Anyway, that's a different story.
I'm always exhausted.
But yeah, so do you feel like you have changed? Like, do you agree? Or because they said it, now you agree?
I definitely think I have. I won't say changed. I feel like I've evolved.
That's a good word.
Into.
No.
Tell me more.
Okay.
But But yeah, I feel like right now I'm kind of in a
Oh,
period.
sorry.
It's okay.
This is an old video my friend sent me of me like.
Oh my gosh,
And
baby
I was in
Cara.
college. Ew, back up. Damn, why you all in the camera like that? No, that was my energy. I was.
I feel like I recognize you though. Like
Yeah, I know. I need to calm down.
Wait, I literally posted this picture on my story today.
Oh my god!
Wait, that is so wholesome.
2007.
Those are some 2007 glasses, and that's a 2007 shirt.
Wait, that is so cute, baby Allison.
Wait, what were you guys like in high school? Now that we're
Oh my gosh. I
so
don't
you
even
said
know.
you were grandma, eclectic,
Yeah.
okay. And then
I feel like I went through phases. My first chunk of my high school was very like sports oriented. I played soccer a ton.
You played soccer?
Yeah, that was like my whole life. Like I was like, I'm gonna go to college for this. I wasn't at that level, but I was obsessed with it. And then like slowly as I got older, I kind of wasn't as into it, but it was still a huge part of my life. And I tore my ACL,
No.
and that did like whole shift for me. That like changed my whole trajectory of my life essentially.
Yeah.
But long story short, it's like I couldn't play soccer anymore, so that was the majority of my friends, and it made me really reflect like who am I friends with out of convenience, and who do I actually want to be friends with. And that's when I stopped using. Around that time is when I stopped using social media, so I deleted everything because I wanted to see like who are my real friends. Like
in high school?
Yeah, I was like,
Damn,
is
you
it
were
weird?
hurt on the curve.
I was like, I don't know, but cause that's like I like spiraled like mentally. It was such a low point because I feel like that got into my career too. It's like when you have an injury, it affects you mentally and socially. It's like I didn't have friends. I couldn't go out. I couldn't physically like walk and stuff.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, it made me really reflect like who are the real ones in my life. But I think that changed my whole personality. Because I think before I was very like social. I loved talking to people. I loved joking around, and I don't know. I didn't mind being like center of attention. I loved like making people laugh. Then afterwards, I got like really shy, a little more like self-conscious. Like that was a struggle, like trying to find confidence. And then I think I got into like a good like in between spot where I was like, I can still be social, but I don't need to be, super out there. So I mellowed out a ton. Like I was so hyper back then. Like it's embarrassing. Like we would always like play games with like we would like what's it called, like burrito each other's backpacks. I would on the balcony like throw food at people and stuff. Like I would stick gummy bears on like my friend's locker. Like I was just on something else.
Yeah.
But I definitely mellowed out, I feel like.
I feel like I kind of resonate with how you said that like soccer was like your whole life, because for my junior and senior years I was in dance, and it's like all of my friends were
it's like you're a huge part of your identity, and when you don't have that, you're like, who am I?
And then I had an injury in college and I couldn't dance, and like that was like hard too because I feel like it changed everything. Right.
If you don't have that one thing, like what actually bonds you guys, which isn't bad, but then you're like something else has to bond us other than just
the
sport.
activity.
Were you guys popular or
no,
or what or well, how would you describe your, like, using the stereotypical, how would you
top dog?
Homecoming queen.
No. I feel like I just had my niche, because you know how like there's always, I don't know, high school is weird, like, oh, there's like the honors kids, the sports kids, the ASB kids. I feel like you just have your own little niche.
The ASB.
Yeah.
What's ASB?
It's like student council.
Yeah.
I feel like I was social, but I definitely wasn't like a popular person. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was like popular or anything, but when I was on the dance team, I feel like people knew who I was because we did a lot of performances, but I wouldn't say I was.
Did you guys bully anyone? Or get bullied? Were you the bully or the bullied? Or neither?
I think I was probably nice. I think I was just so, like, my whole friend group was just very drama-free. Like, I literally was just, like, in my own world in a way.
Yeah. I didn't get bullied. I will say, in middle school, maybe, like, very slightly.
Middle school was a whole nother beast.
Yeah. Maybe very briefly, a little bit of bullying, but I'm unaffected to this day, so it's okay.
I hope I didn't bully anyone. If I did, like, I would feel so bad. And
I'm
oh
sorry.
My gosh, yeah.
They're like, freak that Shauna girl.
Oh, I would feel so
From
bad.
10th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, I threw food. I'm like, no. How about you? Do you feel like you're similar, different? Because we haven't
I
so,
was
but high school was
different.
so long
I was
ago.
very
Yeah.
different in high school. I was still the same around like people I was comfortable with. Way less assertive, way less confident,
Mm-hmm.
way less like. I had really bad like social anxiety,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a huge thing for me too in high school.
and I didn't really have like a lot of friends. I was like bullied. Like I always was bullied from like middle school and like in high school.
Yeah.
Not bad. I was bullied like micro bullied in like high school, but I was like
Still.
bullied in middle school.
Oh.
That like really affected my self-esteem to this
of
day.
course. Yeah,
'Cause,
because it's such a formative years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experience it, like they're like wounds.
Yeah, I was like I just feel like I was just an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Yeah, and people used to think. Yeah, it was tough. I used to eat lunch like in the bathroom sometimes.
Kyra.
Yeah.
No, I want to
Or
give you a
people would
hug.
always like be my friend and then
Uh-huh.
like, but like in secret, like no one,
Oh,
or
that's
not in
messed
secret. Yeah, or like
up.
only if their friends
Yeah.
weren't there. Like no one wanted to be my friend.
It was like convenience for them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or I wasn't like their first choice.
Yeah.
But I still had friends and stuff, and I was still social, but like, it was complex.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you feel like in a way got better in college or like after
Yeah.
college?
It got better. I was a marching band kid too. On top of that,
Really?
Oh,
Wait, what
I
did you?
love that.
What did you play?
I played the
Fun.
flute, and I was in the color guard
I was gonna say color guard. You give color guard.
and the winter guard.
Wait, I love that.
That was my whole life. I used to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to practice.
Mm-hmm.
But at your school, was it like status wise? Was like people in band like? Were they like low?
I don't know because I was so immersed in band that we had our own hierarchy within band. So they were
I
like
can see
popular
that.
kids
Yeah,
in our
yeah,
band. Oh my god, Amy
Yeah,
rapping,
yeah.
Tommy, like they're so
Uh-huh.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't popular in band, so that gives you.
Mm.
I mean, I wasn't like nerdy, but I was not.
Mm-hmm.
They used to like really like make fun, like bullying. Like people assume that I'm like really dumb a lot of the time, and they would like make fun of me like in my face, like they would like the popular people would like invite me to do stuff, the popular people in band, and then they would like, but like as the like the joker or as the butt of the joke kind of thing. Yeah.
You're so messed up.
I feel like that's why I try to be really kind to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's at least a kind of like a silver lining in a way.
Yeah. Okay, college. Moving
Wait,
on.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Can we check that the camera? I like
Oh.
you know when you have
You're
so like did I close the garage
deep-rooted
door?
anxiety. Yeah.
We're
It's
good.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, wait, did I press record?
Yeah.
College.
Oh, a lot of self-discovery there. I'm
Yeah.
so thankful to be way past all that now.
Yeah.
Well, like obviously still going through it, but like
We
I'm
made
just-
it on the other side.
Yeah, but yeah, college was rough.
5 years out.
I think college was the most rough.
Really?
Yeah.
What was rough?
Well, I went to community college first, and I feel like a lot of people have a stereotype about other people who go to community college, like, oh, you didn't make it, or you're not that smart.
Look at her now.
Still nowhere.
She has a patent.
And a thriving podcast.
Still messy. Hasn't gotten better. So that was affecting my confidence a lot too. I was like, some people like, oh, put so much value like where you go to school,
Yeah.
what you're majoring in, especially if like in honors or things like that. People like they put so much emphasis on that. So that was like a thing I had to go through, and then once I transferred, oh man, it was so hard getting my bearings and trying to find like a group and like joining all these random clubs and like thinking like these are my people, like forcing it to happen when like low key
yeah.
like I knew in hindsight like no, those were not my people.
Yeah.
Not that they were bad people, but I was like forcing myself and trying to make friends because I was like, oh, college your time to make your best memories, all the friends in the world. And I was like, what if you don't have that experience? Like, then what?
Yeah.
Like, I still had fun, but I don't know. I like my friend group a lot. I think once I found my friend group, I was like, I was good.
Okay, good.
Yeah. But it was definitely
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But in hindsight, like, everything worked out, so.
Yeah, because you're still friends with a lot of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you guys?
College was the same thing. I was on a dance team, and that was like my whole life, my whole social life.
What kind
for
of
the
dance?
Competitive hip hop. We were really bad.
Oh.
No, we were really bad. For my first 2 years, and it was like really traumatic. But having this conversation is making me realize, or reminding me how I feel like a lot of my self-worth was placed on like my like friends or like who is like in my support system. And now I'm at a place where I'm trying to detach myself from that, because it's been like it's just been really hard to like constantly rely on factors outside of myself. But I remember something that was really stressful for me going into college was like every social event was centered around like alcohol. And I didn't like underage drink, so like it was like I felt like it was like a huge deal to everyone that I was like, no, I'm like not gonna drink at this party or whatever. And I remember someone said to me, I remember exactly who it was. He was like, if you're gonna come hang out with us but you're not gonna like drink, then what's the point of you like hanging out with us? And that like hit me so hard. I was like a freshman, I was 17, I was like, I'm just trying to make friends at this new school, and you're telling me that like there's no point if I don't want to like do this with you. Like I'm still, my presence is still there, I just don't want to drink alcohol. So that was really hard to navigate for me. Obviously, I mean, I made friends, but like I don't think that mattered to them. The fact that I didn't drink, and the people that did feel like that guy said like weren't worth like my time. So yeah, that was really hard for me, but yeah, I do feel like I centered my friends in my life a lot.
How would you guys describe the phase of life that was for you?
The thing is, it's like I, in a way, don't regret any of it. Like it had to happen for me to be the person I am today. Not that it's all negatives, but obviously the negatives are what kind of shape you as a person. So maybe just self-discovery. Like it's just all it's a journey, you know. It's always an ongoing thing. But just like you said, it's just trying to find your people and what your morals and values are, and people who align with that.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you?
The college?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like so much of like my first 2 years is kind of a blur to me, I think. Because of like my experience with my dance team, I feel like I kind of like blocked it out.
It's like a coping mechanism.
Yeah. So like I can remember things, but like when the memory comes back, it's like, oh, I like forgot that was a thing.
It's like, oh, jump scare.
Yeah, literally. So I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to define it. I also feel kind of detached from it because I don't have that many friends that I'm in contact with regularly from college. So it feels like I'm not still like, it's not like at the forefront of my mind.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then also COVID, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
That was wild.
Yeah. How was your college experience?
It was better than high school. It was a lot better. I had like a family, like, and we became friends like the first day. Like, I was in like band and we were in color guard, we were all in like guard and then like the roommate, whatever. I found my group like effortlessly. Didn't even have to try. So I was really
Wait,
lucky.
where did you go to college?
In Indiana. It's called Ball State.
And that's not where you're
Chirp, chirp.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that like football games.
Yes.
And then she like ended on a high note.
Chirp, 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 chirp. Yeah.
Chirp it up. And it's chirp, 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 and then you start going crazy.
There you go.
You're from
And we always
Michigan,
balls.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a time. I still struggle with my friend group was all white girls, so that made it really hard to like feel attractive. And then it was like a PWI in like the middle of like Muncie, Indiana. So it was just very, I felt very unattractive. And like and I remember like if we would like go to like parties, which we didn't go to parties often, but if we ever did, like I felt like no one would talk to me. But they would talk to like my friends, and I will never forget like one of my friends was dating this guy. I don't know why she would ask him this, but one of our friends asked him like, can you rate our friend group? And he's I don't,
but she was,
yeah, they were all white.
Oh.
I never heard the rating, but I knew I was probably, at the bottom, just given, like,
the circumstances.
Yeah. So I just remember, like, feeling like, dang. We had, like, a KKK rally. It really did, like, it really desensitized me to, like, racism living there. I would say that entire era of life was learning to think like a white man, and I gave myself white privilege. Like, I literally act like a white man. Like,
Think like a man. Isn't that a movie or a book? Think like a man.
Think like a man, act like a woman.
Yeah.
No, but especially a white man. Literally, I was just observing them all and how they like were entitled and this is rude. I still love like all people, but
Is this when you
this
had
is just
the
my
white
experience.
male therapist?
Yeah. No, that was great.
Okay.
The white male and she would just mess with him. That's where she learned the skills from. This was the era.
But now I just feel so like, I feel like it prepared me for the world. It was like a training ground. Like if I could get through that, if I could get through that, or if I could learn to love myself there, because I eventually did learn to love myself. Yeah, I remember I feel like I'm like rambling, but like my favorite memory is like I dated this guy.
Wait, I do remember you saying this.
He was half white, half Asian, or half Chinese, and he was like kind of white passing. But, like, we would just, like, go out in public, and he was so fucking radical. Like, he was, like, really extreme. Like, I wasn't, like, super into politics, but he was just, like, everyone was, like, loved Trump, and he just loved to just go in public and just, like, piss people off. And, like, we'd go out to eat, and he'd just be like, man, fuck Trump! Like,
yeah, he was
it was just, like, so fun to just, like, And, like me and I had, like, a couple friends who were, like, were black, and two, and we would go, like, sometimes we would go out to eat, and like everyone would stare at us. Like, we'd walk in, and like it'd be like all like older white people, and they would just like stare. It was very traumatizing, actually. Yeah, a lot of racial trauma.
That's insane.
That's why when I went to grad school, I hung out with all the minorities.
Yeah,
I was like, done with that shit. But I still like white people, and that was just my experience.
Yeah.
Alright,
Well, that'll shape a huge part of you.
I used to hate them though. I don't know if we'll keep that in. I had to go through a whole like
No,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Learning to
Right. So where would you say? Oh yeah, you go.
I was gonna say, do you feel like you've ever had an identity crisis?
You mean like regarding my race?
Am
I a white man?
And this is for both of you. Anyone?
Like, who am I?
Maybe not a crisis, like a huge turning moment, but maybe like more miniature ones, like medium sized. Medium.
What were they like?
That's a good question. I think it was just a lot of reflecting, like, am I living authentically to who I want to be and what I want? And then once you realize, like, your reality isn't that, you're like, what have I been doing this whole time?
What pushed you to, like, to have that thought?
You're just unhappy. You just realize, like, something's off. Like, I'm forcing things that shouldn't be there. Have you had a self-identity crisis? I feel like there's always a lot. But I can't really think of any right now, though.
I feel like there was definitely a period of time in my life where I felt like I wasn't black enough. Like, I felt like people, like, saw me and they're like, oh, like, you're whitewashed because of, like, how I talk or, like, how I grew up. And I didn't have, like, that many black friends. And so, like, people would also use that, like, against me as, like, you're, like, whitewashed. I don't have any white friends. I'm trying to think. Like, all of my friends are, like, minorities, but, like, it was still, like, you're not black enough. And, like, I remember one of my friends who I'm not even friends with anymore, he was like, yeah, you're black, but, like, you're different. And I'm like, what is that, like, what does that mean? And so I feel like I didn't start, like, I didn't even start, like, braiding my hair until, like, after high school. And I feel like my hair was a big part of my, like, discovery of, like, who I am and, like, my heritage. And just learning about my hair in general, even outside of braids. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah. Like, I remember, like, at the end of my, like, college, like, I ended up wearing, like, an afro to graduation. Because, like, there was, like, this whole thing where I wasn't friends with that whole group of girls anymore, even though we were, like, family all those years, because my roommate called me an N-word hard R.
No.
I told you about that one time. Yeah, and then none of my friends cared. And that was, like, our senior, you know, like, I was like, dang, after all.
College?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I was like, dang, like, you guys don't, that doesn't bother you guys?
Right.
Like, you guys they're like, I remember overhearing the conversation, like, they were all, like, pretty, like, blonde, blue-eyed, two of them blonde, blue-eyed, like, come from, like, a lot of, like, parents are paying for their college, like, full out, like, no, you know, like, very privileged. But, like, at the same time, like, I wish we could all have that, so, like, no shame, like, I'm glad they have that. But, just to, like, they couldn't comprehend, like, how I was feeling, and that was when I, like, realized I'm black. Like, that was when I was like, we are very, like, we don't see the world the same. We're gonna have completely different life experiences.
We're gonna be offered different things just because of who we are.
Yeah. And then I went through a whole, like, I went through a whole embracing myself. Yeah. What really frustrates me about when, like, people say, oh, you're not, like, black enough is, like, being the black friend in a white friend group, you feel so black, like, because you're not,
like, undeniably.
Yeah. Like, growing up in a white area, like, in a white school, like, my whole life, I feel black, like, I feel really black, you know, so then for someone to say, oh, you're not really black, I'm like, but, like, I am facing, like microaggressions on a whole nother level than someone who grows up in a black environment will face. Because, and you get to learn to love yourself, you get to learn to feel valued, you get to, like, have crushes and date people and be validated by, you know, black men because you're in a black, like, environment. But if you grow up in a white school and you're black, you don't get to have those same experiences, so your blackness is, like, exemplified. Is that a word? It's, like, extra. So it's like, no, I am I'm black.
Wait, have you seen that one Wes Anderson movie, Fantastic Mr. Fox? And at the end, the wolf is like,
Wait, my mom went to see Wakanda. And she sat in the front row. She went with my brother, and she literally stands up at the end of the movie, and she goes in the front row. And my brother goes, "Mom, sit down."
Wait, we watched that together.
We did,
Yeah.
Isn't there like a picture or a video of Kamala going like?
Yeah.
That's
That's
so
a good
funny.
movie.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about your blackness now?
I mean, I feel black.
I feel like fuck everybody. Like, fuck you. Like, just suck a dick. Don't tell me who I am. Don't tell me what I'm not. Fuck you.
Wait, how do you feel about your?
I feel like your parents are like, who is that vulgar? Like,
No, the probably downstairs like, yeah.
Can't wait for this
Back.
episode to
Yeah.
drop.
Put on the TV and everything.
No, how do you feel like your?
I am so glad you guys said something
Mhm.
because I was like, well, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously our
what's your
experiences are different,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it was validating in a way. I was like, wow, like everyone has their own journeys, experiences. But for me, I was like, in a way, I was like, yeah. I mean, it's a lot more diverse now, but back then, I was like, maybe not as diverse. And it was a typical thing of like, there's like maybe another Asian girl in class, and like I would get her papers. I'm like, wait, what? And I was like, no, this isn't right.
Yeah.
So like small things like that, like your teachers would mess you up with. Never felt attractive or anything. And then I went to UCLA and I had a reverse culture shock. I was like, there's so many Asians. Like, what the heck? But obviously, like, maybe not as extreme because obviously we drive to different places, more like predominantly Asian. But then that was the first time, like, I remember my roommate telling me, she's like, oh, you're really attractive. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I never heard anyone ever tell me that, like, ever in my life. And it came just out of a place like love. And she was like, no, like, I think you have like some like like you should flaunt it. I was like, I've never because at that point I always wore baggy clothes. Not that you need to flaunt it in general, but I just never saw myself in that way. And I never thought like Asians could be attractive.
Oh,
I know like my brothers always thought because they always get portrayed as like a nerdy person. You're never seen as like being masculine. That's what my brother was telling me, and like they always felt like they had to like prove themselves in a way.
Yeah.
Or like other jokes and things like that. But yeah, college I felt like a little bit more attractive and things like that, and I felt more accepted. There's like Asian food. I thought that was really cool. They like celebrate like Lunar New Year. I was like, that's awesome. And then I went to grad school and I had a whole identity crisis. I was like, I remember being so nervous, and we had a Zoom thing to like meet our classmates. I opened the screen, white out. Just like someone just put a white out on the screen.
Not white out.
I got scared. I got so scared, and then there's the whole Asian hate thing was happening at that time. And I was talking to my friend at a cafe, and I was like, I just broke down crying. I was like, I'm so scared to move to Philly. Like, this is insane. But then I did it, and then I found a group. The minority group.
Wait, I know. Shout out minorities.
Yeah, and then there's one other Asian girl there. She was also Vietnamese. And I remember she dropped out of our program.
Oh, what's her name?
Yeah, and I just had like this.
Nancy.
Yeah, I had this real, not as anything personal or anything. Like I'm sure she's doing great, but it just made me realize I was like, I have to do this. Like I have to succeed because if not, there's not going to be a therapist that like would look like us in the field. It's like you gotta keep going.
Yeah.
But then I moved back to California, and there's like so many other Asians, so that was nice.
Yeah, at the job that I work at, literally all the OTs are minorities except one.
Isn't that so nice?
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about my job too. I went to my interview, I was like, whoa, it's actually diverse. And I was like, this is why I literally wrote a manifestation in my journal. I was like, I want a diverse workplace.
Is yours diverse?
My workplace?
Yeah. Okay. That's important.
Yeah.
Ooh, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the importance of having a diversity where you work?
I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Because then you just experience like microaggression. Or kind of what you were saying in work. Like, I don't know. It's like small things and you just don't feel comfortable or like people overlook you in certain ways. But
yeah. I feel like for one, my current employer, it's like, it's very small. But I feel like for like the 15 people that we have, it's pretty diverse. But my old job, I noticed it was diverse. But the longer I was there for 3 years, and like the longer I stayed, I noticed a pattern of like who was in high places.
Oh, that's a different,
That's how
like
it is
my
mine.
workplace is diverse, but
Yeah.
the people who are higher up
I know.
look a little
Same.
different.
Yeah, and that's what it's like I felt like I was stagnant there, and I felt like I wasn't gonna move up because the pattern was like the people who got promoted, they didn't look like me.
Yeah.
You know?
That is so disheartening because I
Yeah.
feel like I kind of see that in a way too.
I also see
and
that.
it is
Yeah.
disheartening.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I feel like we should be our own bosses because
Subscribe,
Yeah.
y'all. Please subscribe and like. We're trying to break free.
Do you guys want to know something like is kind of dark in a way? Because I saw a video of like these two influencers. You know, on TikTok they have a theory of like, oh, if you're a white,
Yeah.
attractive
Yeah.
woman, most likely will blow up versus someone who's like a person of color.
Yeah.
And then there's like two influencers. They're like same following, like, kind of doing similar stuff, but obviously like they like do like I don't know like exact like
Yeah.
in general it's just a
Similar.
theory
Yeah.
that like it just happened that the person who was white
Yeah.
was more successful, but then we're all people of color in our influencing journey, so we might not get as pushed as much in the algorithm hypothetically.
Yeah, I feel like with anything, but with social media, people of color have to work 10 times as hard
Right.
as like non-POC have to work, and it's like they can just like show up and like do the bare minimum, and it's like they blow up, and part of it maybe is like the algorithm. I feel like it also like especially in like the beauty space has to do with like the beauty standard. And it's like we're told that like you're not good enough if you're not white, so it's like that's why it's
Like you could prove yourself more
yeah.
to be respected in a way.
Do you ever have like friendships with white people who are like unable or unwilling to like
Recognize
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
I felt that in the past a lot. I think when we lived in Philly. Not that, and then I talked to my therapist about that too. And then he told me, he was like, well, they're still good people at the end of the day. Why does it have to be so much of a barrier? Like,
Was he a white man?
He was Asian,
Okay.
actually. I was like, yeah.
Was he a white man?
But
Wait, you started this video. Am I a white man?
Who's a white man? Are you a white man?
Oh, I was just like,
looks at our analytics.
white
behind
the camera, like.
Closes the screen.
Are they in my house?
They're watching me. Unsubscribe.
That's the one subscriber we lose from our tents.
Yeah. But I do say it affected my mental health a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm trying so hard to connect, but I can't, and I don't know why, and I think it might be my background. Or like things that I'm really passionate about, or not passionate, like even the things I eat. It's such a big part, like your diet and like what you eat, like and your culture, and not like being able to share that, or people are like, oh, that's weird, that's gross, and they don't mean it intentionally. And then my therapist, like, they come from a good place, like they're still good people, like you, I don't know, like it's okay in a way.
Yeah.
There's a balance between it, you know. You have to
yeah.
give them grace, but doesn't mean you have to like tolerate certain
I know.
things.
It's like, why do we have to tiptoe around the white people? Like, and then when I was in that friendship, like with all white girls, and like I said, they were good people. I loved them. They had my back. Like, they were my friend. They were my family.
Right.
Beyond friends, they were my literal family. We celebrated every holiday together. We told each other every dark. Like, I loved them, and I know they loved me too. But it was just, it sucks that like they just will never understand that the world is gonna be a little different for me. But when you were talking about your experience, like seeing all the white faces, like first of all, when you show up and you realize you're the diversity.
Yeah. Like they put me on the brochure. I'm like, huh? They like put me on the brochure. I was like, this isn't the student demographic.
them like advertising, it's diverse. Ooh, I can't wait. Shut up. Wait.
I was the diversity hire.
But I had an opposite reaction when I saw it. I was like, it's so diverse. Like,
because of your
because I
experience.
came from like
Mhm.
rural Indiana.
Right, because it's like
I was so excited.
perspective, background, yeah.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's like really like
Mm.
that was like a, or for like I just thought about like Nydia.
Mhm.
Shout out Nydia if you're. I'll send you this one.
Aw,
I guess.
bad idea.
Nydia, she's so confident.
Right.
She's so confident that she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And she knows her fucking worth.
Definitely.
Like 100%.
Yeah,
She
she has
doesn't-
that aura.
Yeah, she doesn't settle for no bullshit. And like, and she's like a black woman, you know?
Mhm.
And like seeing her take up white space and like knowing her worth, feeling beautiful, not feeling beneath anyone.
Mhm.
I was like admired her for that. And like I was like, she like came from like HBCUs and like black schools. And I would just be like, dang, I wonder if I would be more confident if I like was, you know, grew up in an environment like that. And also, this is another thing. I don't know if you guys experience this, but so like I'm very comfortable around white people because like I've been going to white schools since I was 7, so I'm used to them. But like sometimes if I go to like a different, like a newer like white space, I'm like so comfortable with white people, but I don't like think twice about it. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, blah blah. But then like they're not used to me sometimes, or maybe they don't have a lot of black people in their circle. So I feel like they're like, oh hi, I voted for Obama, like, or you know, or like they
It's like, what happened to hello?
I'm like, what are you?
Where's the story
Yeah. So it's like a weird thing where it's like, I'm comfortable with you,
Right.
but you are not with me.
Yeah.
And have you ever experienced that or not so much? Might be
Yeah, not really.
I'm like, put your finger down.
I feel like I haven't. I honestly feel like I haven't been in that many. Well, I mean, I guess UCLA is like technically a PWI, right? But like technically, but it's still very diverse. I feel like I haven't been in that many spaces where it was like primarily white was the demographic.
Pause, tuition.
Still
Student
paying that
loan.
much.
Acceptance rate, enrollment. Okay, yeah. 26.6% white, 26.2% Asian, 20% Hispanic, 6.23% Latino, 3.62% mixed, 0.2% black.
Ooh, it's gotten even worse.
Yeah.
When I was there, it was like 3%.
That's because they had that club.
Wait,
They had like the 3% club. Something like that.
wait, there was a club?
I think so.
Wow.
I wasn't in it.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, so that wasn't a PWI. PWIs are like the culture is white. The
70%.
culture of the entire and everyone code switches to fit in
Yeah.
to the culture.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't really been in that many spaces. I will say I did have an experience in my music classes. There was a lot of times where I was the only black person in the class, and I remember one time it was like a class about like black music in like the 60s or something, and someone said the word Negro and they weren't black, and it just made me uncomfortable knowing that it's like it's not like the N-word with the hard R, but it was just like it still made me uncomfortable. And I like emailed my professor who was white, and I was like, I'm the only black student in the class and this makes me really uncomfortable. And the professor emailed me back and was like, oh, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Please don't tell the class. I'll have it seem like it came from me. And that in itself was kind of crazy for her to like be like, I want it to like come from me, but she didn't even recognize it herself. And then I remember like she told the class, and then like it was still happening.
That's terrible.
And I was like, this is so frustrating because it was also like around the time that like George Floyd was killed. And I was like, this is so frustrating because it's like I just don't want people to say one word, and you can't like not say that one word. So that was a situation. It wasn't like direct. It was like unintentional, but it's like sometimes you need to be intentional about like what you're saying.
And it's just so weird that everyone wants to say it so bad. Like, I would never say like the F word for like gay people, or like I would never say like a slur for another like that's just weird. That's weird. I don't know why it's so. I mean, I guess because it's in music a lot, but even still, I like if a gay person made a song and they were saying like the F slur, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
that's weird. Like, that's not how. Like, why are you so comfortable? I don't know. It's just that's very weird energy.
Yeah,
but also, I get the temptation. It's like, you can't say it.
Yeah.
You can never say this one word. The rebel in me.
Like those videos where parents set up their phone in the bathroom and they leave their kids. They're like, I'm gonna close the door. You can say any curse word you want to say until I come back. And then they close the door, and the kid who's like 6 years old starts cursing up a storm.
Oh, genuinely?
Yeah. It's like, you would have never thought they had it in them.
No, these kids these days are exposed to way more.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was exposed to a lot when I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
Because
I kind of grew up on that.
Yeah.
Internet, so.
But also, my dad, like, when I went to his, like, my dad just was, like, not, like, shout out, love you, but, like, there are some things you should not have open, like, when your child is there. Like, my dad literally, bless his heart, but he literally... This episode really took a turn.
I
know. Our racial traumas.
Yeah.
Ooh, unpacking our racial traumas.
Dang.
I did have another self-discovery question.
Okay, yeah. Let's move on.
The listeners like locked in. I know they're like, damn, I know there was so much to unpack. Yeah. Wow.
I'm deep in this combo though.
I was gonna say, like, if someone were to ask you, like, who are you? Like, what would you say? Like, who are you right now?
Oh, that's a hard question. Who am I?
Damn.
I'm gonna put that.
It's easier for people to describe you than for you to describe yourself. So I would describe myself how people describe me, but not.
Yeah.
But I
Wait, describe yourself, and then let's all describe ourselves, and then let's
confirm it.
Yeah.
See.
Okay.
I'm scared.
Does anyone want to
They're
go?
like,
Does anyone have an idea?
What are you talking about? You're a white man.
Wait, so how should we do? Should we start with us describing
Yeah.
our
one person does, and then everyone says it to them. So we do one at a time.
Yeah.
Wait, so should we do the like if you go first, should we describe Shauna first?
No,
and
she
then
survives herself.
I describe myself, and then you guys describe.
But
and then
isn't
Or
your
what do you think?
should your description of yourself be like the hard truth? So then, so should you say that? Go for it.
Wait, I need to think.
Well, because that way we don't like cloud her judgment. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Sorry.
Good point.
How would I describe myself? I think I seem extroverted at some point, but I'm pretty mellow and low energy in like my day to day. I feel like I try to be kind and empathetic. I'm more on the artsy side, and in my feels, very like emotion based. Yeah. That's not like a really good description, is it?
I feel like that. There's nothing. I'm like, no,
Yeah,
you're not like
yeah.
that. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. I also think you're like just brilliant and
Genius.
Oh,
and how else would I describe Shauna? Very easy to talk to. Like, I feel like you're just welcome to, like, warm and welcoming to everyone. Like, you would never make someone feel like unwelcomed, or like if someone, even if they're like really weird, like,
Really weird.
you would still like be nice.
Aw,
Or smile. You're
thank
also
you.
like in professional setting, you're very like meek and
Yeah.
yeah, you're very
Poised,
yeah,
demure.
yeah. But like in like a professional setting, you don't seem like super outgoing. You seem very like focused.
Everyone says I'm very calm.
Yeah.
I'm very calm at work, but in my head I'm like, ah! And I always like, really? Because I'm low-key dying on the inside all the time.
I would say you also. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I would say you also like your artsy side. I feel like is more hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you come off as very like
black and white science.
like intellectual like
yeah,
but still very emotionally intelligent.
Thank you.
I feel like I feel like I've known you for less than a year.
I know, that's
Yeah.
so fun.
We have a podcast.
Wait, but that's the best because that means you can see her for who she is at this moment.
Yeah, that's the
in
best
time.
part. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably the closest to who I am right now.
Yeah. I feel like I'm trying to think of what my first impression of you was.
Oh, first impressions. That'll be a fun one, too.
I feel like when I first met you, it was just like, she looks like a model. Like,
I always
yeah.
say that. I always say that.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
No, you give model.
Yeah.
Like,
I always say that.
oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're definitely really easy to talk to. So I agree. I remember like the first time we got brunch, like Kyra went to the bathroom and it was just me and you at the table, and this was our first time meeting, but I didn't feel like it was awkward.
Yeah, it was really like natural and everything flowed.
Which was nice.
Mhm.
I feel like you're really like, what's the word? Empathetic. I also low-key feel like you're a little bit mysterious, like we were talking about.
Really?
Yeah, like when you
What?
the fact that I found out you have a patent, like that's crazy. And then also when you randomly talked about how you like were building a mini house.
Oh. Oh yeah.
I was like, that was not on my bingo card.
Yeah. You always have some side quests going on.
I do.
Yeah.
I have random side. Everyone has like some crazy
Yeah.
side quests. I feel like.
Yeah, but I also feel like you're like you're a very like genuine person. Like I feel like you're just like straight up and you're like real. I feel like I don't have to tell you that you don't have to like sugarcoat things, because you just be like, yeah, I'm like struggling with this, or like I'm having a hard time with this, or like this is going well, you know. So.
This is going on.
Yeah.
These are my lows, my highs for the week.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Aw, thank you guys. That was really sweet. Do you want to go next, Wilson? I can't wait to share about everyone too.
I know,
I'm so excited.
It's actually really fun.
I love this.
And it's also interesting because like you don't often get like
this positive
yeah,
feedback
or like just know how you're perceived.
the perception.
Yeah.
How do we positive? How do we go from racial trauma?
Man, this is us.
Oh my god.
Shackles you.
Break every chain. Is that
No, that was the other episode.
Our whole podcast this is our theme. No, that means we've healed and grown.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
We're not longer in slavery.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a compassionate person, or at least I strive to be. I feel like a large portion of my life has been defined by the fact that I'm depressed, and I don't like that, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I, at my core, identify as like a sad person. And I feel like I'm doing everything that I can. That's another part. I feel like I'm very like goal oriented. And so I always want to like find ways to improve. I have the like deep down thought of like, oh, I just want to give up so bad because it's like exhausting. But I feel like I'm always like moving forward and finding something that I want to work towards. I feel like I think about others before myself, and I like love giving gifts. Like I love like sitting down and making something for someone with my hands and like giving it to them. But yeah, so I feel like I center like those around me a lot. but I feel like I also need to learn how to center myself. Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I'm trying to think my first impression of you. You were just very chill. like when you say you were like, but you have your moments though, where you can where you can get really you know, like Jake vibes. But I just feel like overall you just have a very calm. You come off as very stable, calm, chill.
Wait, this is so fun. I can't wait for mine.
Nonchalant, if you will.
Yeah. But I also think you're very giving, like you said. I also see that, and just very helpful towards others and very caring towards people that you consider your friend. And I feel like you're just like really creative and really talented, and I feel like you're also just very open and vulnerable. Like you're like an honest person about how you like feel, and yeah. And I feel like you're very loved. Like I feel like a lot of people love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Like just like at your birthday party, like they ride for you.
They ride for you.
Yeah. Like very loved, very supported, and yeah, it's like my perception.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think if there's any other things that I'm missing. Yeah, that's like my overview. That's how I see Allison.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, and then recently, like the more that we've been doing the podcast, like we were getting closer, I've been realizing oh, you're actually really emotionally intelligent, and and you do a lot of inner work, and I like that because I feel like you're self-aware and you want to improve yourself.
Yeah.
So I peep that.
Yeah, I feel like I think about the deeper meaning of life all the time.
Yeah. I feel like at first, knowing you, I wouldn't know that, but digging a little deeper, I'm like, oh wait, so she's actually she's actually pretty, she knows her shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite thing about the podcast is just how much I've gotten to know you guys and all the takeaways. As I told you guys earlier, I feel like I've grown so much in these past 2 months.
Yeah. When you were saying, the one thing that you said that stuck with me, well, you guys both be teaching me stuff, but one thing I can think of is when you were you don't cut people off, you just
the boundary queen.
Yeah, you just understand who they are and move accordingly. I was like,
yeah,
ooh.
Allison knows.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she knows
Yeah.
something. And also, sorry, another thing. I like that I have a really weird thing about me where I think from the trauma from college, sometimes it's hard for me to talk about being black or black related things when there's a non-black person, because I feel like I've been trained to never bring it up or pretend. I don't know, I just feel so I like that you're just very open about different I don't know, even though that sounds small or stupid, for me I trained myself to never bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stigma almost. Or you don't want to feel like you're a problem.
Yeah. That was a mouthful.
Thank you for sharing.
We should have a stick.
This is
A talking stick.
This is such an intimate conversation
It's
to
actually
put on
crazy.
on the internet. This is sleepover vibes.
Yeah. I can't think about it. I can't think about people listening.
I
That's
know.
crazy. I just don't want to think about
That's
it.
why I'm not promoting this.
Yeah. We're purposely trying not to blow up.
2,000 views.
I think it is funny because we haven't really hypothetically known each other for that long.
Yeah.
But yet. I'm just joking.
I also feel like time is a construct.
Yeah. Because it's crazy to think about. But I think from my perspective, because Kara introduced me to you, and she's like, she is this boss girl. She has her own clothing line. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, really? And you come in, you have I was like, did you make that? Like, yeah, I made this. You knit a shirt, and I was like, wait, that's so cool. But I felt like you're really easy to talk to. I think you were very ambitious when I met you. I mean, you still are, but at that time you're just doing your launch, and then you're planning everything out. I was like, dude, that's insane. That's so inspiring, because I think that's when I just moved back to California, and I was still trying to get my bearings. I was like, dude, she's doing it. That's amazing. I remember like hyping up to people too. I was like, oh, my patients are asking like, what'd you do this week? I was like, oh, this girl, she's so cool, blah blah blah. And then another thing, as I got to know you better, like you are so funny. Like that car ride, because I was low key kind of nervous because I was like, oh, it's my first time me and you hanging out without Kyra, and we were driving to your place. I was like, I wonder how it's gonna go. I think from beginning to end, I was peeing laughing. Like, I was dying laughing. Like, your random comments were so funny. Like, that car ride felt like a fever dream.
Remember
like,
the Ice Spice thing?
Yeah.
I said this girl with the orange hair.
It's like, does she have like a poop thing? Like a poop like fetish? I was like, oh no, she does talk about like that a lot. And then like we drove into the alleyway.
Yeah.
We drove into the sketchy alleyway on accident, and then it was silent because we both knew like, oh, like maybe we should get out of here. And it was all silent. All I hear is boom, and she just did the locks on her car, and then they kept going. So like I think you're very, very funny. And then when I look back on the podcast, like I'm dying laughing at your comments and everything, and it's just so funny to me. So I think you're really funny. I do think you're very, very compassionate. Like when you're hosting us, you're so thoughtful to like get us tea, get us food ahead of time. You order us meat even though you don't even eat meat. I was like, what the heck? That's so like you're very, very considerate. And I think you go out of your way to let people know that you care and love them. Because one thing to think it, but it's another thing to generally go out of your way to like make them gifts and like to like tell them and like I agree with Kara. I mean, I haven't met your friends, but I have the vibe that you have a lot of like ride or dies with you. So I think you're very loyal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what my name means noble or something. No.
What is your name? My name means friend.
I forget what mine is. I don't know.
Someone on the internet said that it gives you a sign into your life path, whatever your name means.
I'm gonna
Do you
name
guys
my
have
kids.
middle names?
Yeah.
Have we talked about this? What are your middle?
Wait, should we
Should
put it on the internet?
we can cut it out.
Okay.
Or go like this. Go like this.
Your name?
Yeah.
Social Security?
Credit score.
Anything, nothing. If we cover our mouths, it's all clean. It's safe information. Okay, Karen.
Okay. My perception of myself. Oh shit! I didn't actually think about this beforehand. I feel like I'm very awkward. I feel like I'm so like. I feel like I make things awkward a lot of the time, and I don't know how to recover. I feel like I do that.
I fumble.
Yeah.
I fumble hard.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm just like very childlike. Like I feel like I come off as very dumb. Like very like you would think I was just like a stupid, goofy person until you like actually got to know me. But I feel like I come off as like I probably come off as artsy. I think I come off as kind of ditzy and kind of yeah. I just feel like I'm like I feel like people think I'm like ditzy and stupid. Damn, that's like not.
No. It's not what other people think.
Yeah.
You think about
okay,
yourself.
okay, yeah. You know, fuck all that shit. Fuck all them people. Alright.
I'm not, no. I am.
But I do feel like I feel like I come off as ditzy. I do. But I feel like I do it on purpose. Like I'm
calculated.
You do it for the plot.
I'm manipulative. And then I feel like I'm very adventurous. I feel like I'm like thrill chaser, thrill seeker. I'm a romance person.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
We are all in our fields.
I feel
We're
like
lover girls.
my love language is quality time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what else is there to say about me? I like myself. Yeah.
I love that.
But I feel like I definitely overall come off as like. Oh wait, not how I come off, how I perceive myself. Isn't that crazy? That's hard for me to do. I'm like,
It is hard.
I'm like, well, people see
It's just instinct.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like, I know how other people describe me, and that's how I would describe myself because they tell me that. But I don't really know how I view myself.
That's actually really deep because I'm like, whoa, actually, how do I perceive myself when I don't consider the perceptions of others?
I really don't know. I thought I have to deep dive into this more.
Yeah.
You see me in the corner like
away from everyone else, I'm ambitious.
you open your eyes are all gone.
I feel like I'm loyal. I feel like I'm a real friend, like a genuine friend. Like, yeah, I want you to succeed. I don't know. I'm done now. I feel like I've been rambling.
Sorry, do you want... You can, okay. It's so funny that, like, the first thing you said was that, like, you're awkward. And I remember... Do you remember we went to Black on the Block and we were waiting to do the speed dating thing? And we were just standing there and you were like... People are probably like, look at these two awkward girls. But I did, like... I perceived myself as awkward. I did not perceive you as awkward at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I perceived myself as awkward and I didn't perceive you. I'm like, okay,
I was an imposter. Like,
I was like, I'm awkward. I like smiled at this one guy for like 30 seconds and like made eye contact. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to leave.
I'm pretty sure we're getting married.
When that guy came up to us to talk, I was like, she's like so good. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to say. I'm like,
I need to set my game up. No, like I don't perceive you as awkward at all.
Yeah, I remember we went to the concert and you like talked to the band members.
I always feel like so awkward on the inside.
No, I do not see it as awkward at all. I also feel like one of my first impressions of you, and this is gonna be really random, I feel like your voice is not how I expected it to sound, but it's like you have a really nice voice.
Oh, interesting.
Like you have a really like very like cute voice.
Oh,
Even that's such a nice compliment.
Yeah.
Also,
like, I'm never gonna shut up now.
Certified yapper.
My friend told me I got a cute voice.
No, even like my sister listened to our podcast and she was like, Kyra's voice is so cute, and I was like, it is. Yeah.
Also, shout out to your sister for listening to us. She's
She's
by our
very-
4th stream. Whenever I see 3 streams, I'm like, that's us. And it's a demographic, it's like females.
Like, it's in-house.
Yeah, it's like our age. I'm like, it's really just us listening.
We gotta be our first supporters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like another thing is like one thing I noticed immediately like after we started hanging out is that like every time after I hang out with you, I feel motivated to like find a goal for myself, because I'm like, Kyra's doing all of this, and I think you guys were talking about it earlier, like not like the comparison thing, and I didn't feel like I was comparing myself to you, but more so like she's like getting it done.
Really?
That I'm like,
yeah, I feel the same.
it's like it's so motivating. I'm
What?
like,
I was looking at you like that. I'm like, man, I just got my little YouTube channel. She's got real shit. She got the launch. Like, she's got the. I'm like,
That's
damn.
true. I feel the same. I think that's why I like hanging out with you guys so much, because they were just so inspiring.
yeah, I remember like before you got your current place where you live, I remember you were like, yeah, I want to like find my own place.
You made it happen.
The next time I saw you, you were like, put the deposit down, like I'm starting my job, and I was like, this is crazy, because like you did it like bing bop boom 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 bop bam, like
that's actually how Karen moves though. Like she will get things done.
Yeah, I remember telling people like she's actually like she's moving fast, like like you actually like get things done, and it's like very like inspiring.
Yeah.
Because you're always just like, I feel like if you have an obstacle, you're just like, oh, it's like whatever, like I'm gonna do something like bigger and better, you know. And I feel like you take life at face value, if that's what I'm trying to say. And like you don't let things hold you back, like things that are out of your control. I feel like you don't let that hold you back, and you only embrace what is in your control, you know.
I agree. I mean, I say with both of you guys. I think that's what drew me like to the friend group a lot too. Is like it's so.
Is this a friend group?
Wait, are we locked in?
I'm friends. Only after spending like 6+ hours filming. I think we're friends now.
It takes 72 hours.
Yeah. But I think that was the best thing. I was like, wow, like you guys were all very, very inspiring and very hardworking. But I second that. I think you are very inspiring, very ambitious. If you have something you want to get done, you'll get it done. Like every time we meet up with each other, like you're like, I want to do this, literally you do it, and the next time I see you, you're like, oh yeah, I did that. I've been 1 week clean or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? I think you're very free-spirited, I do agree with that childlike energy in a way, but in the best way possible. Like, you just find so much joy in the little things. Like, I'll be walking with you in the streets of Philly, like, randomly, like, a British accent. Like, you just take it so unserious. like life is so unserious, but then you're also, like, so serious about, like, other aspects, and it's, like, a good balance between the two. I think I told you when we filmed our first episode, I was like, oh, like, obviously very brave. Like, you moved out here by yourself, barely any family, any friends. You're sleeping on a couch with, like, bed bugs, or not bed bugs, like fruit flies or whatever.
Roaches.
Yeah, and then
How much better? Not bed bugs, roaches. Get it right. They were roaches.
And, like, you have your own place and everything.
No roaches.
You have a son.
Yeah.
A cat. Don't let the prospects think that. No,
Yeah.
My future husband might be watching.
Yeah, I think you're very ambitious. Because, like, I want friends, and then, like, you met Allison, and then, like, you introduced me to Allison. Yeah, very funny. I think you're very, very funny. You're, like,
really
give me, like,
funny.
spit takes. There's always things I don't expect, and then, like, randomly just say it. I'm like, that's so random and funny.
I think we're all hilarious, honestly.
Honestly, I always say this, but, like, whoever my man is, like, has a lot to, like, live up to. You know how, like, people say, like, oh, like, I want, like, a guy who's, like, has good humor? And I'm like, no, like, I don't think there's any way he could be more funny than me.
I agree. I think you're really funny.
Thank you.
Yeah. He just has to laugh.
Yeah, he used to laugh at my jokes.
Wait, I feel like that was so empowering.
Yeah, I always feel a lot better after these episodes.
Yeah.
It's very cathartic and therapeutic.
Yeah. And I feel like it's good, like, that was, like, uplifting.
Yeah.
Like, to, like, remind us of, like, our worth, too.
Mhm.
Especially, like, as we're, like, preparing to, I don't know, date eventually. Like, just when you go into dating, you have to remember, like, who you are and, like, all the wonderful things that you bring.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was, like, a good reminder.
Yeah, you have a lot going for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone here does. Yeah, we're
Damn,
all
this
single
is-
as well.
But at this,
It's like a choice.
Yeah.
It's a good phase to be in.
and it's also, like, the more I've observed, like, most of these relationships are not what they appear. Like, I feel like true, like, a good thing
Takes time.
it takes time. It's a little rare,
It's
too.
proven.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. If you're still here, that's pretty amazing. And
Yeah.
I
Thanks
hope
for
this was
watching.
healing.
Bye, guys.
See you later. Oh, shit. It's our longest one.